There was once a time when the world drowned in its own darkness, a time when humanity forgot how to be kind, when greed ruled hearts, and truth was ignored. But in that world, one man stood different. While others mocked, he believed. While others destroyed, he built. This is the story of Noah, the man who trusted God when the world refused to listen. A story not just about a flood, but about faith strong enough to float when everything else sank. Long ago, the earth was full of people, but their hearts had grown empty. They were clever and powerful, but cruel to one another. Evil filled every corner of life. It was a world that had pushed God away. But among them was Noah, a humble man who still walked with God. While others lied, Noah lived with honesty. While others forgot, he remembered. He wasn't perfect, but his heart was faithful, and God saw him. In a world drowning in sin, Noah's faith shined like a single flame in the dark. One day, God gave Noah a mission that sounded impossible. A great flood was coming, rain that would wash away the corruption and cleanse the earth. But God would not forget the faithful. He gave Noah a plan, a way of rescue. Build an ark, a giant wooden ship large enough to carry his family and every kind of animal. And so Noah obeyed. He cut the trees, shaped the beams, and worked day and night. Year after year he built, not near the sea, but on dry land. People laughed at him, called him foolish. Yet Noah kept building, plank by plank, not for fame or proof, but out of faith. And then, one day, the sky began to change. Clouds gathered, winds turned cold. From forests and deserts, from mountains and valleys, animals began to come. Pairs of every kind. Lions and lambs, elephants and doves, creeping and crawling, flying and walking. The world stood in awe as they gathered around the ark. When Noah and his family entered, the great door closed behind them. Then, silence, until the first drop of rain touched the earth. The skies opened. Raindrops turned to rivers, rivers to oceans. The ground shook as waters rose higher and higher. Everything that once stood proud was swept away. Inside the ark, there was fear, but also peace, because Noah knew they were held by God's promise. For 40 days and 40 nights, the rain fell. The world disappeared beneath the waves. But at last, the rain stopped. The ark floated alone under a quiet sky. Days passed into weeks. Then Noah released a dove, and it returned with an olive leaf in its beak. A small sign of life, but a great sign of hope. When the waters finally receded, the ark came to rest upon the mountains of Ararat. Noah stepped out into a world washed clean, silent, bright, and new. The air was fresh, the earth reborn. He built an altar and gave thanks, knowing that even through judgment, God's mercy had prevailed. And then, in the sky, God placed a rainbow, a promise that he would never again destroy the earth with a flood. A symbol of peace after the storm, of mercy after wrath, of faith rewarded. The story of Noah isn't just about the past, it's about us. It reminds us that faith still matters when the world feels lost, that obedience can build hope even when others doubt, and that no matter how dark the storm may be, God always keeps his promises.